Welcome to the Barclay Radebaugh Show, brought to you by Cruise Chevrolet. Kevin O'Rourke alongside the head coach of the Bucs as Charleston Southern gets set for a big game this Saturday at home against Wright State. 5:30 tip-off in that one. Bucs will do so at 2-0 in the first win there in that process. Coach, a pretty special one, 66-65 in overtime at Ole Miss. Has to stand out near the top of the list for you.
Well, it's right up there. It was a great day for our team, particularly for our seniors. We've been so close in so many of these guarantee games and against the BCS schools, and just to finally get over that hurdle and to see the reaction of our seniors and how they responded to that win, and just to see their excitement in the locker room. I was able to just sit down and just watch them, and the way they enjoyed the end of the game and enjoyed the celebration in the locker room was just a real special time for me.
Had to be kind of a draining game, I would think, in a way.
I was exhausted. You put so much into those games, and it's 5.5 weeks of practice now with the new rules, and we're ready to go, and we're excited, and there's a little bit of anxiety there, a little bit of excitement, and you're ready to participate in your first real game. We're through our first 2 scrimmages, which were both very successful, and you just want to put a good product out on the court. We want those games, against Ole Miss and Florida State and NC State and Colorado State that we play this year to be games that build our confidence, where we go play well against a high-caliber opponent. We want to see if we can defend. We want to see if we can physically box out, if we can do the things that we need to do to be able to be successful in the Big South. We know if we can do those against the Ole Misses and the NC States of the world, and the Wright States of the world, then we're going to be able to do them against our league. And so that was our goal going in. And then, as the game unfolded and we started to be right there, we led the whole game. And they were able to tie it at the end, and we were able to play pretty well in overtime and get a win. So it was special. It was a lot of fun. The trip home was a lot of fun. The flight home was a lot of fun for our guys.
Cedrick Bowen's dunk at the buzzer wins it. #1 play on SportsCenter top 10. That's not every day for a kid. He's #1 on SportsCenter.
No, and my sell to our university since I've been here is that athletics, while not the most important part of the university, we are the front porch. And I don't think there's ever been a time in the history of Charleston Southern University, the history of our institution, where our athletic department has garnered more publicity. And on ESPN and ESPN2, time after time after time after time is Cedrick's dunk. And they're talking about Charleston Southern all around the world. And then the very next morning, he's the #1 play of the day in the top 10. And so that's SportsCenter after SportsCenter after SportsCenter after SportsCenter on ESPN and ESPN2 going all over the world, that people are seeing the name of Charleston Southern. And so I'm just a big believer in that. I'm a big believer that our athletic department is the front porch. It is bringing students to our university.
Charleston Southern able to beat Ole Miss 66-65. Bucs led pretty much the whole way as we look at some highlights from the game Friday in Oxford. Bucs opening up the 2014 season, and a defensive-minded game, and boy, you guys really got after it defensively in this one.
We really did. We put a big emphasis on the defensive end. We really have put a lot of time there, and through our first 2 games, we've reaped some rewards of the time that these guys have really worked on the defensive end, and we're really proud of how we've developed defensively. I wish Arlon would lay that up. He goes for the dunk there, and those 2 points in a crucial game are really important. And I know he had a breakaway there. We wanted him to lay that up. I know Arlon wanted to dunk it though.
1 of 4 steals for Arlon. He hits a 3 there to start a 15-3 run. Bucs held Ole Miss to 5 of 28 shooting in the first half. End up out-rebounding the Rebels 54-50 for the game, including upping them on the offensive glass. And you're able to get a lot of good looks really in the first half.
We did. We could have had a more significant lead. I love our ball movement and our unselfishness. I love Arlon's confidence. Danny Upchurch's confidence, the way we go into the game and approach that game. We're very confident every time we get on the floor. This young man, Aaron Wheeler, is going to be a really fine player here. He made some really nice plays against Ole Miss, 10 rebounds, which was really significant for us. We mixed the box out there. We got to make sure we're really physical in our special situations. one of those being the free throw line. Just a nice play here. That's a freshman, ladies and gentlemen.
Impressive.
That's a freshman making that jump hook over a 6'10" player. Wesley's going to be a really terrific player here. Good in transition. Ole Miss is good in transition. They're talented. Picked 5th in the SEC in a very talented league, and we know Ole Miss is going to have a good year. Andy Kennedy's a terrific coach. Great play by Paul there. His overall floor game and his improved. He really played well at Ole Miss.
Charleston Southern goes into halftime on top 29-17. You saw some contributions from the newcomers, Upchurch, Johnson, and Wheeler in particular. Ole Miss comes with a run early in the second half, as you probably expected they would. What was the message at halftime to your guys?
Well, they're 2 years away from being a Sweet 16 team and winning the SEC. A lot of those guys are still on that team. They know how to win. They're champions. They understand how a champion acts, and one of the ways a champion acts is when you're not playing well, you fight back. And Ole Miss did that. Great ball movement there by Arlon and by Will. Just a really super job of moving the ball against a very tough defense.
One of the bigger junctures in the game probably comes up here. Ole Miss ties it at 32. Will Saunders, who missed some good looks in the first half, hits back-to-back threes. That was huge.
This is a tough shot. This is just a tough shot. He catches it in the corner. His release is so quick. He has a 6'10" guy closing out him and able to make that shot. And then this one's even tougher at this highlight with him coming off this ball screen. Just the quickness of his release, and it's really good defense by Ole Miss. To get back up by 8 was gigantic. They made their run, tied it up. Our 12-point lead evaporated, and then we're right back up by 8. Terrific move by Wheeler. He's really good at getting to the rim. A very long athlete. Good defense there by Will. Just a better shot by Ole Miss.
Bucks had an 8-0 run there to get a 40-32 lead in just a little bit over a minute of game time. Arlon Harper goes on his second of 2 5-0 runs in the game. Saw a nice find here on a 3.
Really good offense. That we call that the visible opposite on baseline penetration. We want him right there to catch the ball. We missed a lot of free throws, Kevin. We really could have put this game away in regulation, and certainly could have put it away in overtime. But our guys battled back, didn't let it bother them. Just kept fighting and fighting and fighting, and certainly a great effort by our guys. We're now down to the final minutes, fighting to execute. Tough shot by that kid. Good defense by Arlon. Good defense by Cedrick. Not the play we wanted. Obviously, we want to get to the rim when we can in those late situations and not settle for a jump shot.
Your seniors made some big plays. Will Saunders in particular, big 3 there.
Yeah, got us back the lead, and certainly Will is one of the better shooters in mid-major basketball.
Ole Miss able to tie it up here. Rebels will end up taking a 1-point lead as they get a second chance opportunity here. Ladarius White is going to hit a 3 to put them up 65-64. You'll see the final sequence of this game coming up. It followed a long review of a deflection, but you guys get the ball with 8 seconds, and pretty special 8 seconds in Charleston Southern history.
Saah makes the right play this time, gets to the rim. What an athletic move just to get that ball on the rim, and then for Cedrick to catch it and dunk it. If you watch it, Cedrick's at the 3-point line when he shoots it. That's how athletic Cedrick is, and what a special play. One of the plays that will go down as one of the all-time great plays in Charleston Southern University basketball history, and it just couldn't happen to a better guy than Cedrick Bowen. I'm so glad Cedrick made that final play.
12 points, 7 rebounds for him, 5 on the offensive glass. You out-rebound Ole Miss 54-50. You hold them to 30% shooting. The stuff that you guys really pride yourselves on in the preseason showed up on Friday.
Yeah, the out-rebound Ole Miss is significant. They're very athletic, very long, and then 30%. Some of it, in fairness, with them missing some shots, maybe some opening night jitters for some of their new guys, but certainly a sound defensive performance by us, one that we can kind of hang our hat on and revert back to as the season moves along.
So Charleston Southern knocks off Ole Miss, only the Bucs' second ever win in program history over a power conference opponent. They came back home to play Erskine this past Monday, and we'll take a look at some highlights of that after this. You're watching the Barclay Radebaugh Show.
We were just trying to get a layup. That's really all you could do in about 6 seconds. He told me I might have to pull up, but I came down. I saw about 5 seconds on the clock. I had the high screen from Seth, so I just I just used my quickness and got to the basket and tried to get up on the rim. I thought if I got on the rim, I'd have a good chance to get it in. But it bounced off, and Seth made a great play and dunked it back in, man, got us the win.
We know Seth can dunk. How happy are you for him to get that kind of play?
Man, I'm so happy, man. Seth really deserves it, man. Like, he's worked so hard over these 4 years, and we've all been through so much, man. So for him to do that for us and for this team, it's really big.
Coach said run a play, high screen for Saah. I set the screen. All I remember is Saah went, threw the ball on the rim. I came down the lane, dunked it. And I honestly didn't even know that I dunked it or I even scored. And I didn't even realize that I hit the game winner. If you notice, like I came down, I just looked at the bench, and I was just like, wow, like I can't believe that's happening. It's a blessing, man.
Gotta be the favorite dunk of your career.
Definitely. I will never forget this dunk. I'll be telling my grandkids, their kids, and I'll be telling this story for a long time.
Welcome back to the Barclay Radebaugh Show. Charleston Southern 2-0 on this 2014-15 season. The Bucs have 2 big home games coming up. Saturday against Wright State, Tuesday against Central Arkansas. They opened up the home season this past Monday against Erskine as we take a look at some highlights from that game. Packed house at the Buc Dome gets a nice show before tip-off.
Oh, just a new laser show for us with the spotlights and the lasers, and just fun. College basketball is supposed to be fun, but it's also supposed to be enjoyable for your student body, and I think our student body had a great time Monday night.
You come home after one of the biggest wins in school history. You have to be really pleased with the intensity your guys came out with.
We talked about being excellent regardless of who we're playing, whether we're playing Ole Miss or whether we're playing Erskine. We want to be excellent, and we want to, our theme is every day is Game 7, and so it doesn't matter the opponent. We want to give a great effort.
Charleston Southern hit 15 of its first 20 shots from the floor. They jump out to a 40-6 lead, got after it defensively again, and some beautiful ball movement there leads to a Danny Upchurch 3.
Well, you just won't see better ball movement than that. That is really sound, solid ball movement. Will gets hot. He stayed hot, and he is quite a shooter, and we're very thankful to have Will.
Will Saunders, one of the 5 seniors on this Charleston Southern roster. He had a game-high 17, couple of threes from the corner, knocks down another one there, and you guys can still shoot it, but you also have guys who can get to the rim now. It seems like a real nice compliment, and you're going to develop that chemistry with these newcomers as the year goes along.
Yeah, we're not quite where we need to be offensively. We just haven't spent enough time on it, but we're making progress. We'll have a great week of practice this week offensively. And we got shot makers. We're just not real smooth in our offensive execution.
Bucs again jump out to a 40-6 lead. They make it 43-8 here on a 3 by Will Saunders, and he's one of the best shooters you'll see at 6'7".
And that's an excellent shot, but it's also good execution by our guys to hit the lift guy after a ball screen. Well done.
Bucs took a 27-point lead into halftime. It was 48-21. A little uneven there late in the first half. You guys come out in the second half and set the tone right away.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed after the 15-minute mark with the rest of the game and just how we kind of lost our concentration a little bit and didn't do some things that have been typical of this team in practice and in our scrimmages and certainly against Ole Miss. But we were able to build the lead and get a lot of guys a lot of playing time, which we need, Kevin. We need these young guys and the transfers to be able to get game action. And this game was certainly one of those we were able to get them some game action.
Paul Gomer with a dunk on a run out there. Guys have been kidding him about he's only had a few dunks in his career. He gets one on Monday night, 16 points, 10 rebounds, his 8th career double-double, one of those 4 fourth-year seniors, and that really has to be a luxury for you to have those 4.
Paul's just had a great career here, and he's a really, really good player and just an even better young man.
Paul's outside shot has certainly come a long way since he first got here. Had a couple of threes in the game Monday against Erskine, and the Bucs able to roll to a 92-50 win, kind of a not your everyday three-pointer here by Saah Nimley. He's got a 2-hand set shot in his repertoire now, apparently.
Yeah, that's a new one. We'll have to talk to Coach Mackey about his shooting form.
So 92-50 going to be the final score as you get a look at some final highlights here. And like you said, had to be pleased with the opening from your team, and that consistency is something you'll search for going forward.
Yeah, and it's in a little bit of fairness. It's hard when you have a significant lead like that, but that's not an excuse. We want to perform to our highest ability every minute that we're on the floor, and we'll accept nothing less than that.
Final minutes here. Bucs able to get some time for their bench. Will Saunders, final 3 of his 17 points, and again, 92-50 Charleston Southern as the Bucs win number 122 for you as head coach here. You move past Gary Edwards as the program's all-time winningest coach, and I think I probably know the answer, but do you reflect on that at all?
Not at all. I haven't even thought about it one time. I really haven't. As soon as this game was over, we got our Wright State film out and started watching it. We wanted to give Erskine its due respect, and we spent an amazing amount of time preparing for Erskine, and we're going to now spend an amazing amount of time. We can't think about Ole Miss. We can't think about Erskine. We can't think about anything that has been accomplished or coaching records or anything. We'll just need to move on to the next get the team on our schedule. Believe me, when you see Wright State roll in here, you'll know that we're going to have our hands full and we don't have time to think about anything else.
Wright State from the Horizon League, they come in here to play a big home game for you guys, and the team off to a good start. They beat Belmont in their opener. They get Bowling Green today. It's going to be a big challenge.
Oh, wow. We had a Division II team scheduled there, and Billy called and said that they were willing to come down. They're on a trek through the South, and you know, what a great opportunity for us to play a well-coached, extremely well-coached, classy team from a really good league in our gym. It's going to be a good game. It's a real challenge for us. It's a game that we think can prepare us for the Big South play. It's not a high major. It's not a D2. It's a really classy mid-major program, much like some of the ones in our league that are very, very well coached, terrific players, skilled players. You're going to see a number of highly skilled players in here on Saturday, and it's going to be a challenge for us to be able to guard their effective offensive execution, and then defensively they're just very sound with their rotations, with their closeouts. They're a very good team, and I'm excited for our guys to have an opportunity to compete against them.
You'll get Central Arkansas in here on Tuesday. Great atmosphere at the Buc Dome this past Monday. What we've come to expect here, hopefully 2 more good ones upcoming.
Yeah, we need to fill it up now. We don't need to go home for Thanksgiving until Wednesday morning. Saturday's a big game. Let's watch the Bucs play Georgia at noon. Gather yourself, and then let's get to the Buc Dome. And we've operated at over 100% capacity the last 3 years. It's a lot of fun in there. Our team is fun to watch. Let's make sure this thing is full. Gives us a better chance of winning when that thing's full.
5:30 tip on Saturday as the Bucs host a good Wright State team. Make sure to be there early. Be loud as CSU tries to go 3-0. For head coach Barclay Radebaugh, my name is Kevin O'Rourke. Thanks for watching the Barclay Radebaugh Show.